How are you there, guys? And welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I'm your host once again, Josh, joined by Ben, as always. How are you, mate? Oh, mate, you know, another fucking COVID week. It's typical, slow. No, I'm an essential, mate, so fucking getting out of the house is fantastic. I get to see me regular cop every morning. It's fucking great. Just to check me off, I suppose. No, exactly right. So yeah, on tonight's show, a little bit different, obviously, for all the Jets fans. We figured we'd try and touch base with the Western United supporter group, see how they're travelling, first season, first final series, possibly first grand final. So yeah, obviously our season's done and dusted. We've got to jump on the bandwagon for somebody. Wouldn't touch Melbourne City if you fucking paid me, and Sydney can fuck right off.
You did it again. You did it again.
What?
You asked me all these questions and you didn't unmute Discord, but that's alright, I've just fixed it for you.
Well, I hadn't done Discord yet. Because I hadn't introduced the boys. So, welcome.
Well, I come through it too.
So, welcome to, obviously, all the Western United fans. I did try and pump it as much out as possible, obviously, to all the Western United supporter base. Thanks to Wallace and the lads for doing their end and obviously sharing it as well. So, we may as well get into it. We've got Wallace, we've got Jay, and we've got Leb. Three boys. How are you, lads?
Yeah, good. Thanks, fellas.
I'm quite good as well.
Looking straight over each other. It's just like our pod. Straight off the bat.
But look, we're doing great. We're in the finals. We're in the semi-finals. So pumped for tomorrow night. Couldn't be more ecstatic. What else can you do during COVID rather than watch football?
Absolutely. Guys in the chat, let us know if you have any audio dramas or anything like that.
Your wife's got one, apparently you're too loud.
Oh, shit. Sorry. Can't help it. I get excited when I'm slagging teams. Can't help it. So, pretty well on tonight's show. We're just going to sit down. I'm going to talk to the boys about, obviously, the first season, how they're travelling, what they've thought of, obviously, their inaugural season. Is it what they expected? Were they expecting, maybe not to make finals, but, just a good hit out? We'll talk about, obviously, the whole Geelong base scenario with travel and crowd attendance, la-di-da, and obviously the big one. Do they think they'll win or make and then win the grand final themselves? So we may as well start off, obviously, first. Wallace, we'll go with you, mate. Western United, mate. What made you jump ship? Obviously, if you were with City or Melbourne, or were you without a team before this?
I come into football later in my life. Like, I was involved in music, so my brother-in-law took me to a Victory game, and I'm like, this is amazing. I love the atmosphere. I love this. Went to a few games, got like a base level membership, but it was never for me. You know what I mean? Like, I never had that connection. Traveling 40 minutes to go to a game, and there's no connection to it for me. And then when this come along, I'm like, the stadium's gonna be built in my hometown. Yeah. Wow. And it's going to be on the top tier, like a top tier team. What else could you want from something? And then they started doing things around town. We wanted to hear more. And other than the daily football show, we weren't hearing any mentions of it. So me and a couple of guys started a podcast. I met Jay and Leb through the active support group, Western Service Crew. That we were some of the few people that actually went to the first meetup at a pub, and we just got sloshed, to be honest.
As all good supporter groups do.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So it's been a great ride. I come into football later in life. I'm in my 30s, so it's been great to. Yeah, before that I was kind of like just ice hockey, really, and a bit of UFC. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, this really just connected with me. It's hometown. Yeah.
Why not? Jay, mate, yourself?
Bit of the same deal, except I followed football. It's been the sport I've followed, for the last 10, 15 years more than anything. Originally, I'm a Liverpool fan, so is Caleb. So we're both been into the Premier League. And we did jump on the Melbourne Heart bandwagon when that started. Yep. But just because it was a team that wasn't Victory to support. We tried following City, but the club it had no engagement. It was just, and it felt they were playing boring football, and we just didn't want to be there. So we stopped following them a couple of years back because we were never really involved with the club. We never really had a sense of like a purpose. following the club, but it was just sort of, backing Australian football, see how far it'll go. So when Western United pops up, stadium's around the corner, it's essentially our own football club. What else can you do? You have to jump on and support the boys.
Yeah, bloody oath. Led finally.
Being someone from Werribee my whole life, it's a no-brainer to jump on Western United as the team that you support. It's the team that we love now, really. It's only been a year, but it's felt like a really long year, and it's been an amazing experience so far. But yeah, back in the day, I went to a couple of victory games. Liverpool fan, like Jay said, went to one of their grand finals, actually, not the massive 6-0 one, but the 1-0 one, I think it was. And look, it was all right, liked the atmosphere, but could never connect to them. So when Melbourne Heart came along, I thought, look, brand new team, can get into it from the start, jump in, and look, I liked it. I supported them much more than, I ever wanted Victory to do well. But once it became City for the first season or two, it was all right. And then, it felt like there was just a bit of a disconnect between the club and its fans. And, they kind of weren't listening to it. Listening to the fans, the identity of the club was kind of falling apart from what it once was. And, a couple of years back, I just said, nah, enough's enough. I'm just sick of this team. I'm still going to support Australian football, but I'm over it. And the day Western United got announced, or the day that it got announced that Western Melbourne Group had won the bid, bang, straight onto it, as much information about it as I could get, and it's been like that ever since.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I must say, lads, friggin' Liverpool fans, I love it. Friggin' another fellow Reddy, mate, so...
Now I know why you got them on the podcast.
Mate, I had no fucking idea of it. Don't even go there. It's just
everybody's
just
talking
fake.
about Premier League,
Just
and my
fake.
head just goes into my hands.
It's all right, mate. It's all right. You two one day can play in the Premier League. It's okay.
No, us one day will maybe get back there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Who are you? Who do you support?
Birmingham City.
Ah, yeah.
Long road back still.
Decent history.
Very long road.
Decent
Very
history,
long road.
Absolutely.
But if Leeds can do it,
Yeah.
no one wanted them back.
If the Vile can do it, we're better
Yeah.
than them. We can do it.
Exactly.
Exactly right. Chris, welcome, mate. Obviously, just discovered your channel. Gutted miss Kenny Miller. I have 2 Kenny shirts. Yeah, bloody legend Kenny Miller. If you've missed that, go have a listen to that. It's absolute true legend. So
The man loves to talk.
he does love to talk. If you guys have got any topics and so forth, if you're Western United based and so forth, we'll quickly touch on it and so forth. So what do you reckon, guys? Obviously, from the start, how's the club been? Like, obviously, from the top, your owners, CEOs, and everything else. How have they been with engaging with the fans? And, someone like us, obviously, with the Jets, we're pretty lucky. We're pretty fortunate. Obviously, really good CEO who's very engaging with the fans and more than happy to, do whatever it takes, obviously, to make the fans happy. How's everything been for you guys in the first season?
It's honestly been, I couldn't have expected it to be much better.
Yep.
When we made the trip, myself and Caleb made the trip for the first game in Wellington, and when the CEO's buying your beers at the stadium in Wellington, you think, oh well, we're onto something real special here, and it hasn't stopped. They've always been talking to us and saying, what can we do better to help you guys out? I didn't think that a professional sports team could be this involved with their fans, especially after supporting or at least loosely following another couple of clubs. So yeah, it's better than what I could have expected.
And it's not just one or two of them either. It's the whole lot of them. They're all happy to have a chat. They give you the time of day. They're happy to actually engage with the fans, and it's what they want to do. And they've been fantastic the whole time. Just little things like coming to the pub and saying hi pre-game and showing their faces, and even things such as inviting us up to the corporate box before a game, or the function room before a game, just to experience it and get the active support kind of connected with all of the other fans to try and grow the club in multiple avenues, which, I say I couldn't have asked for more. I couldn't have even asked for this. I didn't think it'd be this good.
Yeah. Chris
Sounds like you've been taking lessons from Laurie.
Pretty good fella.
Chris has just jumped in. The members event was good with the sausage rolls in the posh rooms overlooking the pitch. There you go. Everyone, mate, I tell you what, the whole of Melbourne would be freaking hanging for a bloody bunning snag these days. Just-
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Mate, the line up to get a Bunnings snag as soon as they friggin' open and drop the restrictions. Holy shit. G'day, chat on the other side as well. Dale, obviously we're just talking about you before, mate. Couldn't convert you to a Jet. Here he is, popped in.
Is he?
Western United Tragic. Your sister's in here as well, and obviously everyone else, Aiden and everyone else. So, boys, Facebook side as well, yeah. So yeah, obviously, you know, it's good. It's good to see, obviously, that they're engaging. It's good to see that, you know, again, it's I suppose they have to be. You know what I mean? New club, new atmosphere. The biggest one as well. There's already 2 Melbourne sides in here, so they have to do whatever they can. You know, we were talking about Ben and I off air. The membership numbers. You know, I think last I seen was around 5,000. Give or take. I think the max attendance was around the 7,000 mark. I think it was a victory game down at Geelong, obviously 7,000 there. That's the biggest thing that spun me out. We'll talk about obviously location and Geelong and, you know, obviously the EJ Whitten stadium there, Whitten Oval, and who was the other one? I think he went to Ballarat as well.
Mars Stadium.
Mars Stadium, yeah. So it's one of those things, you know. You guys played Melbourne Victory obviously in the city, and there was about 20,000. They play you guys down in Geelong, and only 7,000. To me, what do you guys think? What do you guys reckon the main thing is? Do you think, because obviously you're technically stuck in Geelong for another 2 years. Do you think they need to probably look at more regional, smaller venues, or are you happy to ride it out?
I think Geelong's a good ground for a few games a season. Probably not for the whole season. I think we did have some all right attendances for our first season, and a lot of Victory fans also come from the eastern suburbs as well. So to make it from, you know, the far east to down to Geelong, it's a 3-hour trip for some people, and it's just not worth it for a football game. You know, even for us, we live in the west, and to drive to Mars Stadium, that's about an hour and a half. So.
One thing to mention too is the fact that we played Victory in Melbourne so early on in the season. Attendances do tend to dwindle a little bit as the season progresses too. But yeah, obviously it still can't make up that huge gap in the numbers there. We did have a really successful game at Whitten Oval in Footscray, which if it could hold bigger, I think it could get to the 20,000 or so mark that we did get at Marvel Stadium. So we need to look at, even if we're not based at one place, we need to look at playing at a few different stadiums. I think Mars Stadium in Ballarat's all right for 1 or 2 games a season, but pushing 4 out of our 13 home games there, it does deter fans from attending.
Yeah. Wallace, what do you reckon, mate?
Well, the thing with the stadiums is Geelong was good, but it was cavernous. The Ballarat ground, which I didn't make it to, but I did go to the pre-season games at Moorshead, which is a purpose-built.
Moorshead's brilliant.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Like, I went to the games there, I was like, this is amazing. I would love it to be here. Obviously, the facilities aren't up to scratch.
Yep.
But I think we need to have a bit of a shuffle around for the next 2 seasons. Geelong is such a tough nut to crack because Geelong people, and this is nothing to negate those people, but they have a perspective that they're for Geelong. Look at Geelong Cats. They're about that movement, but something that's broader than them, it's not their identity. And I think that's why we had struggled with numbers there. But on the note of numbers, we still smashed Central Coast this season.
Yeah.
In attendance. I knew you guys would love that. I knew you guys would be about that. I was looking that up on my phone. I'm like, I'm sure we smashed them.
Which isn't hard to do, unfortunately, for those guys. But
no, hey, they're doing the same thing. Being a regional club like we all, like those 3 clubs, us, Central Coast, and you guys, we have different struggles to clubs based in city centres, e.g. Melbourne Victory and Melbourne City, where you have transport lines going directly to that, whereas it's more difficult for us. Like I've been to Newcastle, it's beautiful there, but same thing transport-wise.
Yeah. If you don't, you've literally got to fly into Sydney to get the train, which is fantastic. You get on the train in Sydney, and
I don't even go that way anymore.
Yeah.
I can't stand it.
No, well, you've got friends obviously in Newcastle, so freaking, you know, the old fucking pick me up. But yeah, no, same deal. Same deal though. I suppose, you know, as a Jets fan, you know, there's nothing worse when if we get a Geelong game, it's like fuck. You know, like,
it used to be great for us because we're like half an hour from Geelong as well.
yeah.
Whereas Amy Park's like 45 minutes from us. But we understand the struggle of trying to watch a game in the middle of Cardinia Park. It's just terrible. Even like when we did play Victory there, Victory wouldn't bring a massive support. I mean, they put the South Terrace above the away bay. Dumb idea.
Oh God!
You just get pelted with like plastic bottles and cans and shit.
That's shocking.
But yeah, you're just so far away from everything.
Yeah, that is the big problem with playing the round ball sport at an AFL ground as well. Although the stadium's great, I love the seating's great. The venue itself is great, but it's just not great for football. For the A League, the round ball football. So
the real football.
Real football.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Ben and I have seen a couple of games there, and obviously we went to the first home game of Western United. We did. On to you, Wallace, and we were, we come down and friggin' jumped in the friggin'
jumped in the march,
and fucking security looking at us sideways, and plenty of people looking at us sideways. NCL shit on, and friggin' scarves and Jets shit. I'm not going to friggin' shy away from it. I don't give a shit. But
I vouched for you guys. Just like
well, it was funny. It was funny because it was standing on chairs and fucking slandered. Yeah,
we had our green, cinnamon, and white NCL scarves with us as well, so we didn't stick out like a sore thumb too much.
But it was I don't know if you spoke to the security guard or when the security started coming down towards us, and like, yeah, Ben, we're done.
We're done. We're going to see it.
They've got us for sure. And but again, really accommodating. He's just like, nah, lads, we've got you. Don't stress. Friggin', what are you here for? And I'm like, mate, we're just here to friggin' get sink piss and friggin'
we're just here for football.
Getting inactive. We're in Victoria. I can't travel to Newcastle every week, and I love football. Got to get it fixed somewhere. So no, at the end of the day, that said, these guys were very accommodating, and the boys put on a good show for the first home game and everything.
They're all on it now.
Hang on, Dale's in here. What's he got? I'm interested.
We mentioned bloody transport, mate, and everybody comes out about that fucking plane ticket.
Yeah, well, it fucking helps if you spell your name correctly, Ben. It's not hard, mate.
Shut up.
30 years you've had to spell your name correctly. Fuck.
That story, please.
That story.
Go on while I'm checking chat. You can tell.
So when the Jets played Victory in the grand final in Newcastle, obviously I live in Melbourne, booked my flights, thought nothing of it. Got to the desk for the 6 a.m. red-eye into Newey, and they've just turned around to me and go, "Oh, sir, we can't let you on the flight." I'm like, "Why?" And they're just like, "Well, your name's spelt incorrect on your ticket to what's on your license."
You're kidding.
And we can't let you on, even though we know it's you, we can't let you on because of the anti-terrorism laws, travelling under an alias.
Yeah.
You need to book another ticket. So basically, waited for the bank to open at 9 a.m., took massive amounts of money out, bought a ticket. The only one I could get was like a midday flight with a whole bunch of a plane full of Victory fans into Sydney, and then get the train up. I reckon I made it into Newcastle about an hour before kickoff.
Jeez.
Enough time to get to West, smash one beer, and then do the march to the stadium.
You should have got the bus with the Victory supporters up. That way you would have had some time to sing.
I was in nothing but Jets gear. Sitting on a plane full of Victory supporters. It was frightening, to say the very least.
Yeah. You could have aggravated a bunch and got them locked up, though.
Well, that's all right. I had Lubo sitting three seats in front of me. He'd have backed me. He loves the Jets, and he hates Victory just as much as what I did.
He loves the vibes. He would have been all over it.
He does. He's all over the vibes.
Dale's putting here, I'm interested to know how the beer judgment / scoring idea came from. Do you know
on the podcast?
I guess that's the podcast, yeah.
Yeah.
Beer of the week.
I was just trying to do add something to the format, because there's a lot of football podcasts out there, and I like craft beer. Scott doesn't that much like that many variety of beers, and I just wanted to make him suffer through some stouts. But yeah, we wanted to do something fun, like bring that different element to what we're doing and support local. Majority of the beers we've drank are actually from local breweries in Australia, like Watts Brewing in Hillsville, local Two Birds, Cavalier Brewing in Derrimut. There's so many good local. How do you support local? Drink local. You know what I mean?
Bloody nice.
That's why we do it. Like, I love craft beer. I love supporting local. Yeah.
Yeah, no, bloody oath, absolutely. Dale, mate, keep watching the podcast. As I said, I'll plug that shit at the end, but yeah, no, it's good that you're watching the podcast, Dale, even though you're a friend of ours and you should have been a Jet, but support local podcasts as well. It's great.
Dale's MVP.
Yeah, that's it. Friggin', what do we got? Loudy's in here as well. Fuck, talk about serial pets.
Yes, Loudy's in here as well. I noticed it before.
Fucking hell, biggest, fucking number one, worst Jets fan. Fucking in Newcastle, David Loudfoot. Lives in Sydney. Oh, I know he is. He is. If he hasn't got a Mars bar to fucking control
Put on somebody's head.
Yeah. Nah, good to see you in here, Loudy. We're not going into politics tonight, mate. If you want to talk politics, we'll talk off air. Otherwise, we'll be here for another 4 hours. Dale, it's a golden idea. Loudy, best scarves. NCL, absolutely. Best scarves.
Oh, yeah. We need another kit.
We need another kit. We need more shit. What I was going to say, there's something I was going to say before I looked at Loudy's thingo. So, obviously, is the season as you planned? That's the biggest one, I suppose. Your first season in, you're in finals. Everyone wants to get there. Did you really think it was possible? Were you happy to settle for, mid-table? What did you reckon at the start of the season as the players started coming in?
I think at the start of the season, everyone would have been happy with 6th place. Finishing around 6th, or at least not just floundering and finishing near the bottom. Playing some good football, having a positive goal difference, stuff like that. Playing entertaining football, bringing crowds in. So to finish 5th and then win our first final. That's much better than I think anyone could have hoped for. We were all hoping to finish at least 6th, and it's been great. It's been great, and the fact that we've made the semi-final now is pretty much guaranteed that we're going to bring in new fans next season.
That's the biggest one. Yeah, everyone's sort of in agreement with that.
Yeah, it could have been like, being honest, there was some dark, like, part of the season it did look a bit grim, you know what I mean? Like, we were getting dominated in midfield, and I think that was in part to players like Jurtek and Kone, who are a little bit slower. But since Lustig has come on, I think we're playing a lot better, and I think that's really heightened our position overall. Like you guys done us, and that was Ugard, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he's special.
It doesn't matter whether Marisha plays for Victory, or it doesn't matter who he plays for. Boogs will always have a place for him in his back pocket. He just knows how to ruffle his feathers and put him on.
That shithousery was classic.
It's every game. Every time those two square up.
I was going to say, Victory, Brisbane, it's all the same.
Yeah, it's always been like that. He's always known how to get the rub on him.
Just making him realise he's an Australian citizen these days.
Yeah, anyway, going back to it, I think I discussed this with Josh on a very early podcast when they first announced Western United and they started bringing in the signings and stuff, and I'm pretty sure I said to Josh, look, anything 6th place, if they make the 6, I'd call that for them a successful season.
Mm.
Yeah, we were pretty much all in agreement with that at the start of the season. I even think, because we had an open session with like Mark Rudin where he answered a few questions, and he didn't, even though he didn't announce his goals, we could all tell that he was pushing for the 6 and that he wanted. I think for Mark Rudin, anything other than a finals berth would have been a disappointment.
Yep.
So I think he's gone above expectation, and now we've got the chance to go even further. If we could make the grand final, that'd be something really special.
It's not just Mark either, though. It's a bunch of the CEOs and directors behind the scenes, just chatting to them at different points over the course of mainly the early season. But yeah, as the season dragged along as well, you could just gauge by the vibe that they'd say, if we can make finals, that's going to be a really successful season to be able to then push on and do even bigger and better things next season.
And not to mention the players as well all seem to be, on the same page. We've spoken to a bunch of them in the high and the low points of the season, and it's weird having a brand new club and having so many players really wanting to show you how good they are and really make a name for themselves, because, for a lot of clubs like Melbourne City, especially Melbourne City, that club for me is a stepping stone. The only reason I think players like Jamie McLaren go there is to score some goals and then, Man City notice them and sign them onto Europe. Whereas our club, you can really make a name for yourself. Like Diamante's already a club legend. He's played a season of football with us, and there's people getting Poibo tattoos now. So
yeah, but at the same point as well, some of the goals he's banged in this season.
they've been brilliant.
He deserves to be.
I was going to say,
And the passes, just the passing. I think that's even bigger than the goals. If you bring up his passing highlight reel, oh my god, I don't think you've ever seen it in the A League.
Not to mention, he gave me this hoodie and the banner behind us. He loves the club. He loves the boys. So
mate, at the end of the day, friggin', you could go one step further back and friggin' just say his positioning. Watching him the other night, his positioning, he was in acres of space. Like, this is a bloke who's friggin' at the latter end of his career, and let's be honest, not the quickest bloke in the world, still giving a bloke like that so much space. Like, it was just amazing how much room he had, and then when he gets the ball, everyone just sort of looks up and like, oh, fuck, who was on him? Like, I also think he's a very positive influence on a lot of the boys around him. Like, correct.
You've seen, especially Max Burgess. Max Burgess isn't afraid to dribble at people and run. And even though he's still a one-footed player, he's come acres in the last few months. Like, he is just a completely different footballer. And you're seeing that around everyone. People play with a lot more expression and freedom when Diamante's on the pitch.
Yeah. A-Trax is coming here. We need to stop McLaren, crash the car. Love it.
Great.
Love you, A-Trax.
Chris J. Somebody named their kid after him today. I think I saw that in one of the supporters groups.
Tell me that's not true. Tell me that's not trend.
Yes,
I think I did.
The second name, the middle name, is Allison after Alessandro.
I did see
That's
one of the
sweet.
Western United supporters.
I thought it was Alison Becker from Liverpool for a second.
I thought it must have been a Liverpool group, and I look up and then I'm like, oh, this is the Western United group. I'm like,
I work both ways.
Chris has jumped in. I think the quality of the players we signed, we should have made finals, obviously asking about the previous. Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, obviously, as a we're never going to support Western United personally, but it all comes down to that first signing. And when you can bring in a bloke like Josh Risdon, who I'm almost certain off the top of my head now was pretty well the first signing for the club.
Kone was, but...
Kone was he?
Kone then Josh.
Kone was.
Well,
Kone was, but Kone's all but forgotten now.
Who's that?
He no longer exists.
Well, we've got
He just didn't do
we've got
enough
another
for me.
marquee spot and we don't have Kone, so I'll cop that.
Yeah.
But,
I'd take that.
even blokes like Risdon, in general, we'll call Risdon. He's a Socceroo, he's bloody good at what he does, and when you start signing blokes like that, and then obviously it just went on from there. The players went on, and Diamante and everyone else, and
Connor Chapman was a big coup and a loss.
He was.
yeah, he wasn't
massive.
We did have a few of those big losses, like
Gullum was decent too.
Yeah.
Gullum was decent too, and Scott McDonald was a big loss too.
Yeah.
So, but the fact to get them in from the start, and that's the thing. They would have given experience to the younger kids in the 6 months that they were there too. So it was still a gain overall to get them, even if we did lose them.
Yeah. What have we got? A few in here. Start following Leeds United, then you'll realise what grim football is.
No, it's
that
not
Ricky?
Birmingham City. You'll understand what
Is that Ricky?
Ricky?
Nah,
Is that Ricky?
Nah, it's a mate
No,
of
that's
ours.
Alex. He's one of ours.
A mate of
I got one
ours.
of them too.
I think he's
Leeds.
They're everywhere, I'm telling you. They've only popped up in the past month or two, but they're all over the place.
No, Alex has been around for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only time we've heard about Leeds, though.
Every year they've done what Liverpool supporters like us have been doing. Every year they say this is our year, we're getting back up into the Premier League, and then all in one foul swoop, both Liverpool and Leeds supporters have actually predicted something.
I think that stems more to the fact that, especially people of our age that would have grown up like supporting the Premier League in the 90s and stuff, where all the Aussies used to go to Leeds. So there's that association.
And Liverpool too.
Yeah.
80s, and then players, killed the Liverpool after Leeds, obviously, as well. So, yeah.
Obviously, Viduka.
Yeah.
He was a big one.
Loudy's in here as well. What's he said? Who did the lads support before Western United? A few of the boys, obviously, on the City Hearts train. They were saying it earlier, Loudy must have come in a little bit late. But obviously a few in here. What's this? Australia used to have loads of Leeds fans. Yeah, it's one of those things. There's heaps over in Perth. I reckon there'd be so many over in Perth for Leeds.
Perth's full of expats, that's why.
Exactly right. So there'll be fuckloads of them over there. Viduka Kuhl and Robbie Keane. Chris has jumped in. We have had a couple leave the club, which is interesting.
Yeah, see, Jurtek was another one that really didn't do too much for me.
He was slow.
Yeah,
He was
just very sloppy.
Look, he was decent enough. He wasn't a hamper when he was on the pitch. I'll say that. He was decent, and he had some good games too. And he was a good character. I think he was a good person to have around the club.
Yeah, it's hard.
He's good on Facebook, man.
He loves us.
Yeah. He looks like he's having a great time in Greece.
Seriously, chuck him an ad, guys. Have a chat to him. He's a lovely guy.
Oh yeah,
shit, yeah.
Jot that down.
Got it.
Good.
I'd say the best personality at our club though has to be Ryan Scott, our backup goalie.
Tell him the story about the game the other week.
Oh, all right. So the other week,
Yep.
I have Ryan Scott on Facebook.
I think we all do.
Yeah, when we beat Sydney, I was absolutely hammered sitting here at home, and I called him on like Facebook.
Yeah.
And I forgot that I'd called him, and even though I had my phone up to and then all of a sudden he picks up and goes, "Oh, hello." I'm like, and I was just going, "Oh, is this Ryan Scott?" And he's like, "Yeah, you call me." And we had a chat after the game. He was like, "So you boys getting on it?" And then we said, "Yeah, we're sending it." And he's like, "Don't worry, I love to send it too." And now he's been doing the roaming Ryan videos after every game where he gets around it, and every time they show the video in the club rooms, he's hyping everyone up.
He's just going. You can tell he's a party animal. He loves it.
He's in his mid-20s, backup keeper. He's living the dream. It's really what everyone wants to do.
Far out.
He's BK before the coast move.
Yeah, it was for us. Yeah, freaking. He's trying to take the young bloke. Was it Ryan's reviews? He's trying to take
Ryan's toy reviews.
Toy reviews.
No, who was the other one? Who was the one from Sydney that used to do it? Roaming Roston?
Roman Ross, yeah.
Roston Griffiths, yeah.
It all started with Brian Taylor roaming BT.
Yeah.
For the AFL.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get better than that because, BT's a character in his own. But,
100%.
It's funny to just give him a camera and send him. Dimmer's great on social media.
Dimmer's Instagram game.
Wow.
Fuck. It is hilarious.
Another level.
Whoever's working social media for Western United, Dia's got a job when he finishes up. Social media manager for West Ham.
It's like if you gave your dad a phone and told him to, go do Instagram, but your dad was self-aware.
Alrighty, Luke, relax.
Dale, what's the boys' thoughts?
The running sanitised joke.
The sanitised.
Yeah, he put it in the chat. I got my bottle here.
Right, we'll throw it in here, Dale. We'll throw it in here. Obviously, we're all Victorians.
Yeah.
I'm current Victorian. Well, I can't believe I just said that. What's the boys' thoughts on having a 2-tier A League setup? So promotion, relegation. What are your thoughts? Walsh, we'll start with you.
Love it. I think it'd be great for the game. Help us integrate the NPL structure into our top tier. I think the financial structure is going to be very difficult because the running budgets of the clubs is quite high compared to the NPL level. But if it can fly, I think it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love it. I'd love to see Melbourne Knights in there, South Melbourne just to beat them.
Look, it's got to start somewhere, doesn't it? So the main thing is that you set it up financially correctly. Look, I'm not an expert in that field, so I don't know how you do it, but I think it's crucial for the development of football and the development of young players in the country. And if we want to push on a national stage too, it's something that we definitely need in our system.
Yeah. I think Ben and I have touched on this many a times, and it's something that needs to happen, but how it starts is the big question. And
COVID's just going to throw it all to shit as well.
100%.
Correct. In saying that, though, obviously they are talking now of a possible January restart.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, to line up with the NPL seasons.
To line up with the NPL seasons, which obviously then is going to be more into the summer and then obviously head into the winter, which is obviously what a few clubs, presidents and stuff like that have obviously spoken about that they wouldn't mind it doing.
It's a winter sport.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct. At the end of the day,
I don't know what they're complaining about. So
no, and that's the biggest thing. At the end of the day, there has to be. I think it has to be, especially something just for the youth players. Your Voyutzes and stuff like that, obviously, who are coming back from injuries and shit like that, but a lot more competitive. You know what I mean? Like you throwing them into like an NPL fixture or like a state league for us, obviously in Newcastle, where we've got to travel to Sydney. It's completely different. It's not set up like the A League or anything like that, and the players aren't the same. You know what I mean? You want all players being able to play on the same caliber. In my opinion, not obviously your fringe A League players, and then obviously blokes who are never gonna make the A League and probably understand that and probably are happy just cruising and coasting at NPL level. It's different class, and obviously injuries happen a lot easier that way. I feel just from watching games down here. So yeah, at the end of the day, we can sit here and rave on about that one, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think we're all in agreement that it needs to happen. When, how, God knows when. I'd say at least within 5 years. I think they've got to set a benchmark and virtually just go, right, within 5 years, let's make it happen. And
Before COVID, I would have said 2.
Yeah.
After COVID, 5.
I can't see it happening that quickly.
No.
I really think we need a good, really solid financial backing behind the whole sport in Australia before we even think about having. And I think we've got to do it. It's not like we can jump straight to like something like England or Spain has. We need to just do a first and a second tier. And I don't know how they're going to figure out which clubs come into the second tier, whether or not it's off a ranking system or if they all play off or something like that. But or even if it's the NPL winners from each state come in. It's a very hard thing to figure out. It takes a lot more thinking than the brains in this chat. But I think I really do think it will be put all together within the next 10 years. I think we'll have something up and running well and truly in the next 10 years.
Put it this way, I think we've got the right man at the top of Australian football to make it happen.
Jimmy Day.
Yeah. I think he's his brain and his smarts and obviously just the way he knows the game. I don't think
He's done more in 6 months of the FFA than what Gallup has done in like 5 years.
Gallup's a fuckwit. I don't rate that bloke.
He's a twat.
Useless.
He's a twat. He's a mouthpiece.
He tried to fuck the Storm. He tried to fuck the A League. I don't like the bloke.
Sammy, welcome. If we change to a winter season, how will we combat the attendance issue going up against bigger codes?
Well, yeah, that's
another
hurdle.
That's the biggest thing.
We won't. It'd be a massive struggle.
But it's going to be a struggle. At the end of the day, friggin', we need to back ourselves. The code needs to back themselves and friggin' play that risk. You know what I mean? It is a risk, but it needs to happen. If you don't do it, it's never going to happen. So they need to do it. At the end of the day, friggin', they're going to support rugby league or friggin' AFL because they can. Because there's no football to compete. There's no football there. So, until we obviously see it happen.
Chris brings up another good point in chat as well on that. Just the second tier risk the return of ethnic teams to the A League. Now, me and Josh have spoken about this at length. I think we could all be in agreement that the A League teams are the A League teams is because they have no ethnic affiliation because FFA did not want that from the start.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's another big thing. Obviously,
we're living in like the 21st century now. Fucking get over it.
I like. I don't have a problem personally with ethnic teams. I think they're great because it embodies the culture. Yeah. The only problem is if you don't want to pit cultures against each other, and that'll happen on a large scale in the A League. And look, it might not happen, but there's always the chance that it will. Historically, it has. But
I think that's the biggest issue.
And I think that's, they're just not taking the risk with it, which is why, teams like South Melbourne and the Knights as well haven't made it to the A League at this point.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. Mitch has put in here. G'day, Mitch. Yeah, I'd definitely be going to an AFL game if my teams clash. And
What's
that's
an
a big-
AFL?
Yeah.
I'm in that camp. I'm not an AFL fan, so yeah.
I think that's Mitch,
it doesn't
Mitch
bother
our
me.
mate, who's a Doggies fan, and
Yeah.
to be fair, he's been a Doggies fan
His whole life.
his whole life. But
See, me personally,
tell him, double headers.
Me personally, it's no competition. I'd be going to a Western United game over any AFL game any day.
well,
but I know a lot of people are hardcore about their AFL and even their rugby as well, especially up in the northern states. So I think, that would be a bit of an issue.
double headers would be great though. Like I did go to a probably about 5-6 years ago, maybe even longer. Bought a Melbourne Heart ticket when I went to a game, and if you showed that ticket at the gate for a 2020 game that was on half an hour after that game finished, you got in for free. So that was a good idea from two codes that was struggling to grow at that point. The 2020 cricket and the A League.
Yep.
That was a good idea.
I think it's a fantastic idea.
And
It opens up other people to codes that they usually wouldn't go to or give any recognition to in the first place. Like, I know I'd never go to if I got given free tickets, I'd go, but I'd never go out of my way to go to a 2020 game unless I had a bunch of friends going for some sort of reason, given free tickets, that sort of thing. So if there was a 2020 game across the road from where I just watched Western United play, half an hour later or even an hour later, stop in at the pub for 20 more minutes, grab another beer, and then I'd head there. Definitely.
And I do know people that it's worked for the other way around. I know people that have never been to a football game that have gone to almost every Western United game this year. So it can be easy to bring people in. It's harder to keep them, but I really think we can do it.
Yeah.
Not just as a club, but as a sport on the whole.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I think they're going to have to sort of the A League's going to have to obviously go in with obviously the rugby league, probably the rugby league more so than AFL, just for the fact that there's so many teams in Melbourne.
Yeah,
and a
in
lot
the
of them
AFL, and
share
how do you pick?
too.
Yeah, and how do you pick three teams to coincide with 3 A League teams or whatever it is, and then the others miss out and miss revenue, unless they obviously do it. Everybody gets a go. There's 20-something rounds. So be it. You know what I mean? You all get a freaking game each, where whatever.
I mean, we do still have a similar sort of thing in that we've been to a couple of double headers down here in Melbourne when the Jets women will play Victory women or City women. We'll generally leave the pub earlier and go and watch that game, and the lads are just like, "Where are you going? Game doesn't start for like another 3 hours." And we're like, "We're going to watch the girls play, mate."
Yeah, that used to be other
Because they might actually win.
I think it's a fantastic idea doing that though, and helping grow the women's sport too. Not just other codes, but helping bridge the gap between the men and the women's game and getting people more on that side.
The women's game's better than the bloody men's game at the moment.
At national level,
almost all of our national team are in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Now they are. They were in the W League, but they've all jetted off, haven't they?
Yep.
A lot of them, a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get the stuff.
We even have one at, I can't remember who it is, but we have a player and she's at Lyon, which have won like the Women's Champions League almost every time.
Is that Ali Carpenter?
Ali Carpenter.
Yeah.
She's a favourite.
She's good.
Yeah. What have we got? Chris is
That and ribbons.
The biggest
Love
problem
ribbons.
with COVID is we can't go see 2020 matches in 2020. You can go watch paint dry in your own house. Get the paintbrush out, mate.
I've been to 2020 games. Backyard cricket's always better.
Yeah.
At least you get a bat then.
Very true, very true.
One little quip I want to say about Melbourne City here, though, is that Steph Catley got signed to Arsenal from them, so Dean Bazanis, who's dating her, left as well, and now he's signed for 5th-tier Southern United.
He's playing with Brownie.
He's playing with Brownie, yeah.
He's playing with Wayne Brown.
Yeah. The problem is Wayne Brown's is a tragic.
So is Dean Bazanis.
Does Anna still had something to give, surely? They're about the same.
Mate,
Look, he'll be all right in the 5th tier of England.
Look. If Bazanis was knocking on the door of the Jets, I wouldn't say no.
Well, he's living the dream, though. His missus is making more money than he is now. He gets to live off her. play essentially semi-pro football in
Train once a week.
in the UK.
Drink 5 days.
Living
a
the
week.
dream.
And she's a top lass too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, could you imagine that come up in an interview? Oh, you're chasing the skirt. And yeah, wouldn't you? Jesus Christ. Mate, I'm on the freaking plane. Where are we going? Let's go.
He's on the bandwagon.
Absolutely. Luke, Western United W League. Yeah, Western United W League will happen. Obviously, they've got a...
There'll be something to do with Western's contract within the next 5 to 7 years. They
Every
have to
A
do
League will have...
tournaments.
I think it's a minimum of 3 years they've got to sort of get things up and running. As I said, it's hard enough to get the men's team up, let alone frigging another division, plus the youth academies and everything else. It'll happen.
Josh Wallace wants to talk.
Yeah, mate.
Just in my conversation, throughout the podcast, I've spoken to a variety of people, and as a supporter, a bunch of people from the club. And in our conversation, we interviewed Lou Sticker, who was integral to the bid initially and is still a part of the club. He was quite adamant that a W League team and a youth team for that are quite important for the club to build. They want that. So just on that note, he said that was one of his preferred, he wanted that to happen.
Oh.
So I'm not sure how much weight that grants it, but I think it's going to be amazing for the West to have another women's team. So I dare say we get that before Canberra gets a go.
It'll happen in the next few years.
Yeah.
And I think
happen.
youth is going to happen first. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, youth.
Yeah, youth will definitely happen first. We've already got a bunch of 2 or 3 good players from the west of Melbourne that are playing for Western United, like Dylan Pierres. He's from the western suburbs, and he is an absolute gun down the wing. He's come very far very quickly.
Yeah.
He's if it wasn't for Josh Risdon, he would be starting.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think youth is very important, but a W League team is equally as important, especially with attendance rates coming up everywhere. So,
yeah. Look, at the end of the day, obviously, it's a standard. It has to happen. It is part of the friggin' contracting in bringing in a club. Ben and I have said this on previous podcasts. You have to have a women's side in your A League side.
I thought it was part of the license.
It is part of the license. And obviously, again, you can't expect a new team to bring its side in straight away. It'd be no different to MacArthur next year. They'll have time. Look at Central Coast. How much time do we give Central Coast?
Central Coast should have had one years ago.
Well, they did. They had one. They friggin' won. They were runners up in the friggin' 2008 bloody women's grand final, and then apparently had no money the year after and haven't had one since. So go figure.
Well, that
Really,
shows
they get away
no
with
money.
that.
Yeah. So it's amazing. You've got no money for that shit, but yeah.
Yeah, but at the same point as well. The FFA know that the FFA is not going to fold them. Why? Because they know that they've already got FIFA breathing down their neck to put new teams in to become part of the FIFA standard to stay in the Asian Confederacy.
Correct. Dale, what have you got here, mate? Thoughts on this year's playing strip, home and away? Anything you'd like to see on next year's strips?
Just quickly, I think Andrew did want to say something as well.
Sorry to cut in there. We'll go to Dale. I was just going to say, did you go?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Just cut me off.
Sorry to cut in.
Cut me off.
I'm used to being a host. So I'm trying to be very vigilant and nice. So I'm hosting normally. So this for me, I'm like,
cut me off. Fuck.
Did you see today there was an article Vince Rugari posted that Gold Coast United and Canberra are both putting in bids to come back into the league.
Gold Coast again.
Clivey's back in the business.
It won't be Clivey.
That's why I made the Canberra joke before, because they're both vying to get a license in. So that's sorry to cut
Canberra. I didn't see Gold Coast though, but Gold Coast they've got a ton of their ex-players from when they played in the A League. They've got Michael Thwaite there and Shane Smeltz there at the moment, so it's still a decent.
It's the same team.
It is pretty much. They're just 10 years old. They're just 10 years older.
Badge.
I was going to say, we were talking to Jason Colina the other week. He's up there coaching in the ranks there at the moment. He's young blokes and shit are in
he's young fellas there.
So he's got his finger in it as well. And look, at the end of the day, I can't see Canberra not getting to go before Gold Coast. In saying that, I can't see Canberra not getting to go before anybody else.
Canberra got youth, Canberra got women's. All they need is an A League side.
That's why I made my joke. They need that.
It makes perfect sense.
Not to mention, looking at other codes as well, they've got the Canberra Raiders, that seem to get good attendances. The GWS in the AFL play a lot of games out in Canberra. It makes sense that they get an A League side, really.
Bloody oath. Absolutely.
Yeah. Apparently, Canberra bidded $4 million for the Mariners license from Charlesworth.
Wow. Okay.
Do you guys support that? That's my question.
No.
No.
No, I didn't think you would.
No way. No way.
Nope.
I'm not travelling that far for a
On two different reasons. One, because it takes away our rivalry and we can't do that.
Yeah.
Can't have any of that. Second of all, FFA won't let it happen because of what I just said before. We have to have a certain amount of teams in the league that FIFA's breathing down our neck about within a certain time frame. And
I think it's
moving one team from one to another doesn't solve that problem.
No.
Yeah, I think it's 14 teams that is the FIFA, the FIFA, not regulation, but the aim of what they're wanting to get it to. So,
no, I think that's where they need to be. And look, it'll happen. I think there needs to be another team in Adelaide. There needs to be another team in Perth.
Yeah.
We probably
Wouldn't mind seeing a team in Freo.
I wish we could get another New Zealand team, but they're not going to let that happen at the moment. So,
not a chance. So there's so many places it needs to be. I think North Queensland need another shot.
I think there were talks about them trying to crack in again as well.
Maybe not as that far up. Maybe not as far up.
I think when North Queensland first started up in Townsville, the league wasn't ready for it yet.
No.
Yeah.
I think it'd be in a much better position now, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's one of those things. We need more teams in here, and it'll happen. And the more teams that come in and that aren't South Melbourne, the better, because
all the Jet supporters, hell no, stay on the coast.
It's like you couldn't. Well, I couldn't give a shit if they took away City or not, but keep victory. We need victory. We need something. We need one rival down here.
And that's the thing, and that's the other thing as well. Like, we don't want the Mariners to be wooden spooners every year as well, because if the rivalry is not competitive from equal sides, then it's no fun.
Yeah, it's like how the Merseyside derby's boring at the moment.
Exactly.
And for the past 20 years or so. But especially now as well. We don't even go in thinking we're going to draw at Goodison. It's just a nothing rivalry. It's like at least United's still a bit of a challenge.
A bit.
Oh, man, we've got so many coming in now.
Much more than evidence.
Shut up, Aiden. Shut up. Fowler is not going to be the coach of Birmingham. We've already signed one.
No, piss off. Cole's apple pie chips taste not bad. I thought it was going to be horrible. A-Trax. Looking into it. Loves his...
What was that? Wait, what did he say?
Apparently he's on the new apple pie chips. There's a new apple pie chips at Coles. Get on it.
Of course he is.
Mate, no one loves his food more than A-Trax. Literally no one. So if he does a review on something, you'd listen to it. It's pretty much the food gospel coming out of A-Trax's mouth.
Food, women, football, and fighting. You got A-Trax covered.
Fucking oath. He's also jumped in Auckland City at Mount Smart Stadium as their home base. Mate, I'm all for Auckland City. They are doing absolutely great things over in the New Zealand League. They're friggin' beating teams in the whatever international cup that they get invited to friggin' every year, because they're the best team.
You got Team Wellington as well.
Yeah,
they're both good.
They're both good sides.
Some of the best youth in the world is coming out of Auckland City.
100%. 100%. Give Aubrey a team. Fuck off.
Agreed.
Sorry, Sammy.
No, I agree.
Adamstown, Joshy, bloody oath. I'd give them one over Aubrey.
Hey, Cosso. Just thought I'd get that in there.
Jay's jumped in.
Was there a question about kids?
Sorry?
Yeah.
Literally just about...
Sorry, I diverted that.
Nah, it's all right.
No, it's all right. I saw you just putting your hand up.
Seriously, Ben and I'll friggin' start a podcast every week with friggin' 20 questions. We'll answer 2 of them, and have answered 20 other questions that we weren't even meant to... It's normal.
In saying that, though, I'd like to put out there beforehand, Josh, when Western United first came about as a club, and we were talking about their kits and shit, what was the first kit manufacturer I told you they were going to go with?
Yeah, well, you did.
Called it.
You called it.
Really?
Called it.
He called it. Yeah, he did. He definitely
Kappa's not half bad. They're not the best.
Just looking at the, without being rude, the nationality of the people that you've got at the top, it was an obvious choice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was an obvious choice.
So, yeah, that is the question, obviously. Your thoughts on the strips And what do you want to see next year?
I think the strips this year were pretty good. When I first saw the concept for the away kit, which Caleb's wearing now,
Yep.
I thought that's the fucking ugliest kit I've ever seen in my life.
I didn't like it at first either.
And then I saw it, and I'm like, oh, wow, this is great. It's sort of like Nigeria World Cup vibes. You know, it's something a bit different. And the home kit's it looks like a classic kit, you know. It's just classic stripes.
Crisp.
I'd like for next season, though, I want to go for like a Blackburn-style half-and-half kit for one of our kits. I think that'd be great. Maybe the away kit and then keep the home kit the same. But I think that'd be great. I don't know what the other people, or what the other boys think, or we might not even be changing the kits.
Look, I'm for it.
I'm pretty happy with the kits we got at the moment.
Oh, trust me, they'll definitely change the kit.
They'll change the away kit. The home kit will be pretty similar, I reckon.
The home kit's
They'll
don't
always
change.
change it because then that's revenue.
Yeah.
But one thing Jay's mentioned too is that he wouldn't mind seeing the Celtic kind of the hoop share with the light green and the white as the away kit. So
I do, because my personal favourite kit is I like the Blackburn Rovers as a club, but I do love their kits every year, the half and half. I think they look great. So I really think that would suit Western United's away kit, or even even maybe having the hoops on the home. But
don't change up the home. Don't change the stripes.
I do think the stripes look good on the home kit. I don't think they'll change much. Maybe add a proper collar or something like that. Or
I'd rather the Blackburn half and half, black and green as the home, rather than changing the home to hoops. I don't think we change from the horizontal ever.
I think that's a big thing. Once you lock yourself into stripes, you don't go hoops.
You don't go hoops. No,
you
you can do. Yeah, you can change up the patterns and you can do all a little bit different, but you don't change it to horizontal. You stay vertical.
Although Barcelona did it, look what happened to them.
Yeah. Well, Luke's got the right idea. Just add a bit of brown, add a bit of cinnamon.
Bit of cinnamon, bit of brown. Oh, yes.
Add a bit of cinnamon.
What do you reckon, boys?
I was going to say we should get Andrew Tran's OnlyFans on the front as the main sponsor, to be honest.
All right, what was the other one he had? Black.com.
Black.com.
I
was going through my old Facebook the other day, a bunch of posts that I'd saved, and there was a bunch of concept sponsors.
Sponsors that Andrew Tran made.
There were some classics. There was Coles, Woolworths, Aldi, Jenny Craig, Pornhub, just a lot.
I do it from my YouTube stuff. I do a little bit of FIFA modding, so I do my own kits and stuff, and I put them in.
Cool.
I took the Western United away kit, so all the green triangles I changed to a purple.
Okay.
Like a bright purple, and then put fucking Bunnings across the front.
Nice.
What you need to do is you need to freaking get onto Diamante, but before he leaves, he needs to get a freaking Tran stamp somewhere.
What is that?
Tran
stamp.
The real Tran stamp.
We'll get someone to draw a little cartoon of Ajax. I reckon we could get it done.
Yeah. Especially if I show him the Poibo tattoo that I'm going to get. I'll say, I've got this one for you. You get this one for me. I'll pay for it. Although he's got more money than I could ever imagine having. But
I'm going friggin' Checkers. I reckon he'll go Checkers. I'm thinking Checkers. It'll look.
I think Checkers could probably work for the away kit, but not home.
No, as I said,
If we play out of Knight Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see he's moving too far away from the stripe of the home strip. I reckon it'll probably even almost be the exact same, but friggin' maybe thinner lines, a bit more green, maybe a few black lines through it. But yeah, thoughts on Central Coast Mariners legend?
Oh, I read this before stream. Hilarious.
Usain Bolt getting COVID.
Really?
Hilarious.
Obviously,
how's he ever going to make the A League now?
No chance.
I'm heartbroken.
I thought he was.
He's a
fastest
Jippo
man in
and
the
he
world.
has COVID.
Obviously,
Couldn't
wasn't
have
quick
happened
enough.
to a worse person.
An outrunner. No,
that's it. Couldn't understand.
Still better than the Blade Runner.
Dude, could you imagine how many Pistorius shirts we'd sell if we signed him?
Is he out of jail yet?
We should
Don't think so.
make a prison 11 for Western United. You know, Adam Johnson, Oscar Pistorius,
We've done it. We've gone down this route. We've gone down the Epstein route.
It's a work in progress.
Jeffrey Epstein, captain.
It's
Yeah.
a work in
Is there a
progress.
Milan alive?
Marlon Harewood.
Yeah.
Marlon Harewood.
George Pell. George Pell.
And
Oh!
apologies.
And then
Nah, he's chairman.
if you want to go full on, the
Youth team
Christian
captain.
Memorial match every year.
We normally
did
cut
you
this
guys
out of the
see-
podcast.
Quick diversion. Did you guys see on the WWE how they had all the faces and stuff up on the screens? There was one of the panels was
Yes.
the Chris Benoit
Good
photo.
one, yes. That was pretty bad.
We're going to hell.
I do
Well, this
apologise.
Jay and Leb absolutely love Robbie Cruz, so I'm sure they would.
Don't talk to me about Robbie Cruz. I fucking
Oh,
hated him
I fucking
before he
hate
even
him.
played for Victory.
Hate him.
Oh,
You know what?
Useless.
I'd say he was pretty good up until he got injured in Germany while he was playing for Bayer Leverkusen.
He was all right.
And he was all right in his first stint in the A League, and then he got injured, never really got his mojo back, and he really.
Fuck the national team.
We fucked ourselves for putting him in there. You could have put A-Trax in instead of Robbie Cruz. He would have done more. I could guarantee it.
friggin' hell.
And that's not a knock on
yeah.
A-Trax, because he probably could still do a lot now.
It's like his response is put Carl Williams on it.
Or Roberta, either one.
What was I going to say? Sammy, do apologise, mate. Apparently he lives in Albury and travels 5 hours to get to the game. So, mate, good on you. Dedication. Love it. But yeah, still no A-League team in Albury. Apologies.
I
Newey
think
Jets.
there will be one for a while, buddy.
Newey Jets News Fanage comes in with thoughts on Western United Stadium. I'm assuming. I think he's assuming the new one,
The new one.
Can't wait.
Wyndham Stadium or whatever they're calling it.
Apparently, construction's not far off. There's still a lot of permits and shit to deal with. Our council's not the best with it, but as far as I know, it's happening.
70% completion behind the scenes before they can break ground.
Yeah, so a lot of the planning's been done. Obviously, there's in a big stadium like this, or not a big stadium, but a stadium like this, a brand new stadium. There's a lot to do. It's going to be a modern style stadium with a good amount of seating. So
The main thing that they're struggling to work out is the sort of infrastructure that's going to be around the stadium, the sort of roads, the train line, and getting other sorts of things built up, like fast food, restaurants, pubs, like shopping centres, that sort of thing. They want to build it up as an actual hub, and they want to get the infrastructure around it right too, not just smack the stadium in the middle of nowhere and then hope it all pans out around it perfectly.
really, you just need like a stadium, a pub, and a Macca's, and that'd be great.
I mean, surely if Mint has a permit to trade in that suburb, surely Western United can get.
Yeah.
But that's and just to repeat, an amazing joke. Do you remember when it was Arena Bar and got closed down for letting in minors? Because I
Yes,
did.
Yeah.
because I used to work next door at the theatre.
No shit.
Oh, wow.
Flashback. Not my point though.
Were you in on it?
What?
Whatever.
No, I used to leave work as they were coming in,
Yeah, right.
and then
Convenient.
when I'd get to work, it would be 6 a.m. and they're all coming out.
I just miss 4 a.m. cheddars. That's all I miss.
Oh,
Yeah, pizza on Main Street was great.
bloody hell.
Just on that note of the stadium, and there's a lot of like skepticism about it, but it's the main part of the business model for this team being financially viable. Like that's the point. Like they want that so that they can build a hotel nearby. So say when Jets come in, Jets stay there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They want to create a business ecosystem. It's bigger than just a stadium. So I do not see it. Like if it failed, I'd be very surprised because they want it because that's how everyone invested was to build something bigger than just a stadium. So that's just my opinion on it. That's
And they'll build everything else around it.
And, just quickly,
exactly.
so far as I know, they're trying to build like a mini Melbourne in between Melbourne and
Geelong.
and that stadium is central to it. So they want to build some, some tall buildings, some nice apartment buildings, and it all starts with us our team and our stadium. So it's not just, we're not just supporting the club, we're supporting the whole of the western suburbs and our whole community. Because, building a stadium, that's a lot of jobs.
Yep.
I'm an electrician myself, so I know that how much goes into building something like that. So, that'll employ hundreds of, if not thousands of people for a couple of years. And it's all off the back of just this club starting. So it's not just great for the sport, it's great for community.
Well, yeah, we can't have them all living in the apartments in Caroline Springs for the rest of their days because they'll probably all get broken into at some point.
They're grow houses. Be nice.
Hey, that's my council.
Mate, at the end of the day, the sooner the friggin' better. The fact that it's only like 15 minutes from our doorstep.
All our money goes there, not where we are.
And I don't have to friggin' drive or anything like that to the city or catch a train to the city. Just 15 minutes down the road. Easy cab ride.
Yeah, trains out here are god-awful.
Away days.
Hell yeah.
Lads, Jets fans, away days at my place. 15-minute drive.
Yeah, I've said that for ages, even to the people that used to come down to the Geelong games. I'm happy to friggin' have people couch surf at my joint.
I've had way too many people couch surf mine. I think the wife's limits might be up.
Oh, I thought you were referring to your mum's.
Oh no, mum wouldn't give a shit. Nah, my mother wouldn't give a shit. And the other people that fucking just rob.
No, we know. And she'll give them all lasagna on the way out.
It's just a typical one when everyone fucks off. It's just, how many people then did you actually know? I'd say over half.
Just over half.
But we'll start wrapping it up, and this is what I mean. This is the love of football. We sit here and talk. We'll start wrapping it downwards towards obviously the actual game tomorrow night, and then obviously lineups, predictions, all the fun shit. Sammy's just come in there. Jay, are you gonna slash his tyres? I don't know how far back that was.
Whose tyres am I slashing?
Whose tyres?
Honestly, there's I couldn't tell you how many people's tyres I've slashed before. Being a Western boy, so
it's a rite of passage.
He thought that was where the friggin' petrol was.
Yeah, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me 50 times, I'm still gonna slash some tyres.
No, far out. But yeah, so obviously the game tomorrow night, friggin', what is it, 5 o'clock? 5 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Way too fucking early. Way too fucking early.
Yeah.
And you get the shorter break too.
Exactly. Oh, well, we get the longer one to the final.
Which we will be in.
Couple of hours. So yeah, 5 o'clock start, friggin' against City. Track record's not too bad, obviously, over the season. He's done pretty well. What do you guys reckon?
Against City?
Yeah.
Well, we've lost 3 times to City.
Oh, really? I thought you won one against City.
No. So we beat Victory 3 times.
Victory. That's right.
And we've lost to City 3 times.
Oh, fuck.
But this win
it's not great.
Tomorrow night is going to be the one that pushes us over. So I reckon we get it done like 2-1 tomorrow night.
2-1.
I think we struggle. I think City struggle as well. I see us starting like Jerry Scatardis to just head kick Jamie McLaren straight off the bat. And then, honestly, I'm talking a lot of shit, but I think the game could go either way. I'd like to see us go through, so I'm going to predict a 2-1 win, but it's going to be a tough night at the office for both teams.
You see Rudin come in just before kick-off and front. Right, guys, we've got 5 subs. I need one of you to take McLaren out in the first 2 minutes. Who's going to
No, he'll get Bez to pull a Roy O'Donovan on him.
Do the old FIFA, from the early FIFA games in the 2000s where you could avoid getting a red card by just running away.
Ben
Modern FIFA, the ref just doesn't give him out.
Ben Jorgensen, how you going, mate? I think Jerry should pull a musket and break Jamie's leg.
Oh, Benny, you're savage.
Benny will be there.
Yeah, Ben's going to be there.
What?
No, I think he's talking about what's his name?
Benny Jorgen?
Yeah.
Benny Jorgen.
Yeah.
Kevin Muscat.
Okay,
no one can be that much of a dog, so I don't think he'll be able to pull a Kevin Muscat.
Both
Who's he shagging at the top of the line?
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
I reckon you got three blokes here that friggin' join the conga line.
I'll join the conga line behind Toddy Blackwell. They
They
let him in the other week.
Yeah, they let him in the other week.
They showed it on Fox Sports too.
Atrax has got, we can win this. City beat us 3 times in regular season, but we'll beat them in finals. Well, you only need to beat them once.
Positivity, A-Trax. That's what I like to hear, buddy.
And that's why he's our club mascot. He's always behind us.
First coin toss.
Ben, you bet I am. There you go. Other boys, what do you reckon? Wallace?
I think it's going to be it's going to be a tale of David McLaren here. I think we're going to concede heaps. It's what we do. I think we're going to be picked off, but I really hope we can do it. And I think it's going to be 3-2. It's going to be freaking epic, and I'm going to probably have heart palpitations during it, because it's going to be just they're great attacking. I think Delbridge will finally get a red against us. He didn't last game, and he freaking headbutted Stammer in the face. He needs to get one in life.
He's had a few.
I meant just in general.
I think he got one against us last season.
Yeah, I think I was going to say.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure he got one against us in the first game that they played.
Yeah, he did.
Geelong.
We still lost.
Yeah, we still lost.
Because of Jamie McLaren.
Yes, that's the game we
Oh,
won.
some Goulam tackled him. Do you remember that gap?
Yeah.
Goulam took one for the team and just spear tackled freaking McLaren.
And that's when we all
Missed
knew
that
we loved him. Yeah.
Look, it's going to be an interesting game. It's I'm intrigued to see how he's come out of friggin' that probably last 15 minutes. I don't think I've seen a team get hacked as much as you guys got hacked in the last 15, 20 minutes.
How was there not a fist fight? I thought that was going to happen.
It was close to one.
I know he scores lots of goals and he's a freaking great player for Borussia, but fuck me dead. If he goes down more than 6 times tomorrow night, non-legitimate reasons. He went down a few times the other week. Fucking hell. I love his enthusiasm.
It's football.
Honestly, back to the foul that led to the Diamante free kick.
Mm.
When it first happened, I thought Bess is milking that for everything
that was a good
it was
one.
worth.
Yeah, that was.
But when you grab someone's shirt and put it over their head, essentially, it's a foul. And I can't remember which defender it was, but he had he had two handfuls of Bezart's shirt.
Yeah.
And that's a foul 100% of the time. So
the goal was.
I think it was actually a good call from the ref.
Yeah,
although Bezart, he is a shifty bugger.
He is.
He is
Very shifty. We've got Atrax in here. What's he got? It'll be like White versus Pevetkin fight. City dominate in multiple rounds, and bang, we beat them in finals. Like Pevetkin uppercut. We're in the 5th round. There you go. I have no idea who the fuck they are.
I think it's a
UFC
bit
term.
of MMA posting
Yeah,
from.
it's a UFC. Okay, White. I sort of get now. I just instantly went boxing for a minute there. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't know. Yeah.
No, White.
He knows that Atrax knows I love the boxing and mainly MMA, so he's trying to slip one of those in there.
A-Trax, it's not dead, buddy.
He's still got Macca's shirt. There you go.
Oh, yeah, Atrax, the poor bastard, bought a Scott McDonald shirt, and when Scott McDonald left, I've never seen someone so upset. Poor Andrew.
Can't wait for the day that I see A-Trax throw a Carl's Jr. burger at Scott McDonald.
I was about to say, and I had this up on my list of things. I'll interject very quickly into our score predictions. The Macca transfer, good thing or bad thing?
Good thing.
Oh, good thing now because he's not in the finals and we are.
I don't know. I still don't know, honestly.
Because there's a lot more behind that than what was being portrayed in the media.
Yeah. Look, for team harmony, it was probably a good thing.
Yeah, very.
I think Scott McDonald
we had the option of
was getting in people's ear, saying you should be getting more game time and shit like that. And that's why I think they fucked him off.
Yeah,
because he was really, he was, the Scottish Premier League. He's been in Europe for so long. He comes back and he's not getting a game. He's going to really pipe up about it.
No, very true.
Andrew?
Or something.
So we got Best late in the transfer window. I don't think we would have signed McDonald's if we could have got Best. That's the thing. Then that happened. They tried to play both of them up front, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
The war of attrition.
Very good point.
Yeah.
A-Track, what's he got now?
I would have been happy with either.
A-Track said, boxing, I love violence. Very good. Who wins?
Come live in my house for a week.
A-Trax, who wins then? Who wins? Who wins tomorrow? Horn or Zoo? Who wins tomorrow night? I'll leave that one with you.
Come on, Zoo. That lineage.
Like I said, if you like violence, come live at my house for a week.
I think Zoo wins because Horn's just fucked himself. He's too old. We need someone that's undefeated to really give it to the international boxers. So come on, Zoo.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting fight.
I'm not going to be able to watch it, and if I do,
it's going to be on after both.
Oh, yeah, the main card starts at 6. They won't fight till 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Exactly, yes. We should be able to.
Might find a morally ambiguous stream for that, man.
Can you send me the link?
I'll go in with my standard call when we talk about things like this. I'll go in with my standard call when we talk about things like this. If I want to go watch Punch On, I'll go down to the local pub.
And start one.
Can't do that shit.
No, not at my age now. Look, 10 years ago, different story.
Yeah,
but now it's much more enjoyable to sit there leaning on the bar with 2 beers in your hand and watching 2 other fuckwits beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah. Until Western United came along, the best entertainment in the western suburbs was take a lawn chair down to Werribee Station and then just watch it all unfold.
A lot of this.
You can guarantee there's
not wrong.
A middle-aged man with a long neck at 11:30 a.m. just hurling abuse at some people. So that's great. I love the western suburbs.
Well, we'll start to slowly wrap it up there. What do we got? Aiden's last one.
What's your prediction, Joshy?
My prediction for tomorrow?
Yeah.
I say 1-1 90 minutes, and Western United score the winner. Western United won't go to penalties. And if it does go to penalties, if it goes to penalties, which I don't think it will, Western United will beat City on penalties. Because I don't think don't think City's got the depth in penalty takers. McLaren
I don't think it's the depth. I think it's more that McLaren won't miss, but the others will crack under the pressure. City don't do pressure.
Yeah, we've got a better.
And honestly, we've got a lot of experience. We've got a lot of
experience.
So even though we're not a new club, we've got a lot of older players, a lot of young players that have played a lot of minutes, and a lot of old players that have played a lot of minutes at different clubs. So
I'm gonna go for a 1-1 after 90. I was originally going to before Josh stole that idea. Western to nick a winner. Western to nick a winner, but for me, it's you guys playing that 3-5-2. It's all going to come down to who dominates that midfield.
Correct. Correct. And
it's going to come down to the midfield battle.
It's going to be a great battle.
In our last game, obviously we played a lot of youth to rest a lot of our older boys.
Yeah.
And even though we conceded early and conceded late, they really struggled to break us down over the full 90 minutes. I really think if we have our full squad in there, it goes one of two ways. Either they do us 2-3-1, or we just get over the line. But it depends on. I'm pretty sure I know what Melbourne City's going to show up tomorrow, and they're not going to be, here to fuck around. But it depends on how well our boys are gelling, which I think is quite well, and how fit we are. I think it's down to our fitness. So I think either way, we're going to have a very. It might not be fireworks. It might not be chances up either end all the time, but I think it's going to be an extremely tense game.
I think you guys will bring it, but I think City won't bring it as much as what you guys do. They'll be too cautious for that.
Yeah.
I think
they'll be trying to not make the mistakes of the past.
City is definitely the side that'll have their eye already on Sunday. I think again the blokes they've got, the backroom staff.
I reckon they'll be looking past it.
They'll already have one eye on the grand final. It's where Western United they lose tomorrow, it's a success. You know what I mean? Like
you guys will play like you got nothing to lose.
I mean, like obviously we all hope they.
And we do have nothing to lose.
And that's the best thing. And that's the biggest
You can't
thing.
have, even Sydney, you cannot have one eye on the grand final.
No.
You've got to play the next game because it does not matter if you've got an eye on the grand final if you lose the game in front of you.
Yeah.
So, and that's why, there's advantages and disadvantages to finishing in the top 6. If you finish first and second, you get the rest, but you can, you don't want to also breed cockiness into your
Sometimes
players.
you don't want the rest.
And, it's happening, AFL's a good example with the Doggies when they won the flag a few years back. They finished 8th and they were just thinking of the next game, and all of a sudden they're in a granny, and all of a sudden they've won a granny. So,
Yeah.
I think it's a different sport, but the same mentality applies in final series amongst literally every sport. It can be basketball, it can be football. You've just got to play the next game.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring up the. Sorry, I don't want to bring up the heist and the hunter here, but that's a perfect example of a team coming from a lower position and snagging the chocolates. You know what I mean? Sorry. I know that's a sore point, guys.
No.
I'm trying to be respectful. You know what I mean? Like that is an example of it. Like Victory wanted it that year. You know what I mean? They made a mini movie about it on Fox Sports.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You mean they wanted?
Yeah. They really wanted it, and they paid them to freaking win it. What do we got? Ben says City don't play with any heart. Hayden Ellis, welcome, mate.
That the boy?
Hayden the boy.
The boy.
Yeah, there you go, mate. If Western United win, Tiffany going to block me. Hayden the boy.
That's A-Track.
Yeah, poor man. What have we got? A-Track again. Barisha done that with Victory 2 years ago. They were 4th in regular season. Yeah, so before we wrap it up, guys, if you want to throw your predictions in for tomorrow's game, feel free. And obviously we'll quickly whack that through. And before we let these guys go, but while they're doing that, I'll just like to say thank you, lads, for jumping on. Thanks for giving up your Tuesday night, obviously, to have a bit of a chat about this season. No matter what happens tomorrow, mate, guys, congratulations on obviously making it. Well done for your first season. It is no easy feat. And obviously as a Jets fan sitting here, I didn't predict you guys to be where you are right now. Let's be honest. I thought, as you guys said earlier, if he's snuck into the finals, happy days. But if you were just outside of it, again, it's a win. As long as you weren't down the bottom, as new fans, I'd be happy. So, but yeah, other than that, guys, thank you very much for jumping on.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. And even though it is a Newcastle podcast, and I just wanted to say, Newcastle played some very good football in the tail end of that season. So even though you started poorly and you played some poor football after ISO, I wouldn't want to be playing the Jets in the final. I'll put it that way. So you've got a lot to look forward to next season. So do we. And I think next season's going to be a great, great season. I think it's going to be a lot more level playing field, but Central Coast is still going to finish bottom.
Absolutely. Woodster, mate, how
thanks,
are we?
guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Love to do it again sometime.
Nah, absolutely. Hopefully we'll freaking do it over a beer next time. But
exactly.
What do we got here? Hayden, what do we got? Oh shit! I think I've gone too far. They've thrown him in quickly. A-Track's 2-0 Western United.
Hayden reckons 2-1.
2-1.
Benny Jorgensen reckons 3-1 Western. Lukey Boy, one of our lads, reckons 2-1 Western. Dale's decided he wants to rock up finally in the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
Luke's finished that up with try to score against us next time.
Yeah.
Well played. Go ahead.
Yeah.
He's a very loyal Jet supporter, Lukey Boy.
Stanley.
Good on him. Good positivity.
The Jets did the double overs this season, but look who's in the finals, buddy.
Exactly.
What you were echoing before, mate, we'll say it as well. Our fans have seemed to have dubbed it the Robinson effect.
Yeah. What do we got? Hayden Ellis. Stanley is my favourite player. No, he's a legend. He's a legend of the game. Friggin' top of Stanley. So,
Definitely.
he's a legend. Hopefully he'll go around for another 20 years.
Topper's like a fine wine, unlike Boogs. It gets better with age.
Yeah, we won't go too much. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, friggin' we've had a good run at the end of the season. Nothing, it looks good for us next year, which is a good thing.
Nothing to be ashamed of.
Carl coming in, obviously, again, has proved what we, as a club, as the Jets, should expect for next season. And at the end of the day, it's all about friggin', again, for you guys and your fans, obviously, as much as ours. Get your tickets, be a supporter, get on the bandwagon wherever you are, whether it's Melbourne, Newcastle, whatever. Go support your local football and obviously your local team. It is very, very important to get the numbers up. Make sure you go.
And we'll also premise that with you don't want to be in the situation that our fans were in a few years ago when we made the grand final, when they don't pay for memberships, but yet they scream up and down when they can't get a grand final ticket.
Seriously?
Yeah, well, that's,
Yeah.
that's why I have not missed a single game this season.
That we've been able to go
That
to.
we've been able. I've been to two away games that aren't in Victoria, and I've been there literally every game in Victoria that I could have been to. So, if they said it was limited seats after COVID and I didn't get a ticket, then I'd probably buy a Victory membership next season. But
That's because we've been consistent with it.
yeah. Caleb and I, we haven't missed a game.
Haven't missed a single game,
But
not even pre-season.
it's also been luck as well, because you can't make it to every game.
Yeah,
We're lucky enough to be able to. So
Be two young single guys who don't have too many commitments on weekends, so
Don't brag it. Don't
I was
brag
going
it,
to
guys.
say half your luck.
Oh no, our dates go in mine and Josh's dates go in the calendar very early.
Oh,
If it's a Melbourne away day, we're there.
there.
Yeah,
Well, you've got less opportunity too, though.
I'll make every away day if I have to. If I can make 90% of them, I will. Again, cheap flights, $90, under $100 return these days. Freaking getting Newey from Melbourne, which is good.
Yeah, I think Newcastle's one of the ones we'll do next season.
Yeah.
So
we might go to
come on.
you might see us pop up in the Newcastle away day at the City game as well next year.
No,
so.
fuck that shit.
Yes.
Fuck that. What a
Yeah,
way.
God, that's
What a way support. Ever got away, mate?
Look, mate,
What a supporter,
I
mate, going around.
don't support Western United. I just support every other team but City.
Mate,
And the coast.
yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I do love a good bit of
good
master
sauce
fruit
bottle.
sauce. So.
Yeah.
Mate,
Those
what if-
bottles
right.
are iconic. You
We'll
can't.
nick the cannon for you.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We'll nick the cannon.
It's literally the only reason we've got friggin' Laurie on Thursday night is just to find out friggin' hopefully some information of when the fixtures are coming.
Was that your motivation?
No, he just said friggin' I can come on if you want me to talk about the season sort of thing. So I'm like, yeah, cool.
But I was about to say, lads, if you ever get to do an away day, you got to do Coopers.
If you haven't,
You got to do
I
Coopers.
did.
We did do
Coopers.
so.
you don't
That's
Coopers.
amazing.
Stadium's top notch.
We
Great
got
day.
up 5-1.
Redwood Steve's super friendly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we rocked up to a pub and there were already a bunch of Adelaide supporters in there, and they said, oh, we didn't realise this was your pub today, and we're like, nah, it's everyone's pub. Let's go back and have a beer. We had a chat to him. One guy tried to fight us. It was hilarious.
Yeah, one guy.
It was the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Gosh, I bet you they went to the Brompton.
$20 they went to Brompton. Got
Yeah.
money on it. Money on it.
I'm not going to comment. No comment.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
one of our boys only got punched up in there because we forced him to wear a Melbourne Victory scarf.
Yeah, no, you can't.
No, it was his initiation. It was his first.
That was his
First
initiation.
away day. First away day. You always get punished.
His first away day.
We've all been there. Hayden's just thrown in here. You three deserve to be top of the list. Love your work. There you go.
Thanks,
Love,
Hayden.
love a bit of
you, boy.
romance.
The boy.
Hayden Du Bois, he's our drummer in the Western Service crew.
He's high up on that list.
He's
too.
right up on that list as well. He doesn't miss a game if he can't help it.
Yeah.
He's come to Adelaide with us, 15-year-old kid. What a legend.
Bloody
He's almost got a girlfriend too. Shout out Hayden.
Hayden, if it doesn't work out, and the next time I meet you, we'll fucking tee something up. Don't worry. I'll find you one. I'm the
Buy a
hunter.
beer and take it
I'm
outside.
the hunter, mate. Don't worry. I'll sort you out. Obviously, before we do go, guys, I just want to thank, obviously, Wallace, mate, shout out your podcast. Obviously, you do an absolute great job. Obviously, I've subscribed to it and watched it and everything else. If you're in the chat and you haven't done so, be sure to go check it out. They do an absolute great job. Talking football, friggin' coming up with friggin' new beers every week. Friggin' who wouldn't be excited to sit in on that shit? Where else is it plugged, mate? Where else can people watch it?
Okay, so we're just an audio platform at the moment because I don't want to cut video. I'm lazy. But check it out at All Out West Podcast on Facebook and Twitter. All Out West Pod. All Out West Pod on Twitter. All Out West Podcast on Instagram. We post memes. They're generally mean. check us, subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify. You should see some of the stuff I made about Scott McDonald that I didn't release. I just sent it to these guys because I felt it was too mean. But yeah, check us out. We're all about having a good time.
Yep.
It's all for the love of football. It's why we all do this.
That's exactly. We've just dropped it in the friggin' chat as well. Obviously the YouTube, obviously the Facebook. Hey,
I'm dropping as much of it as I can in the chat.
Yeah. Yep.
Just leave us a bad. I want to see the worst review we can get on iTunes. Leave us 1 star. Someone called us a bunch of salty virgins. Leave us something bad. We want to laugh, man. This shit's funny. Like,
I'm all over that. Aiden just wants to know, obviously, your thoughts on Bankwest Stadium, your lads. Wallace, with you, Bankwest Stadium.
I think it's a great purpose-built stadium. I haven't been there yet. I hope to when the world normalizes a bit. I want to see the active seating they got. Hopefully it stands up for all the games this week because it's going to be pretty haggard.
Absolutely. Lab?
Yep, I'd like to go there, definitely. It looks like a great stadium. Looks like one of the best football purpose-built stadiums in Australia. So, yeah, once we're able to, a trip there will definitely be on the cards. I know a few of the boys from Ballarat, the Rat lads, made their way there for the away game in December, I think it was. So, yeah, they said they had a great time. Wasn't too unfriendly, so...
Did they get stabbed?
No, they came back. No extra orifices.
Mate, if you can make it into Western Melbourne, that's no issue.
we're used to it.
Ben, I'll take you to a Western Sydney Wanderers game, mate.
Yeah,
ask Dylan Watkins what a Western Sydney Wanderers game's like.
Oh, super deal.
I got photos of him being dragged out by police. I've had a friggin'
we've all seen that photo.
Yeah,
it's made the rounds in A League memes.
They're a great bunch of people. Absolute super.
Luke seems to think he says that Bankwest leaks when it rains.
It does. It actually. I believe it does.
And Ben, I was waiting for it, and this is why I didn't want to bring up Bankwest Stadium, because obviously I knew once you said that friggin' Benny's going, I'm keen to go tomorrow. Well, good on you. Everyone sits at home watching the game. Some of it lucky. Enjoy, Ben, mate. Absolutely. If you're lucky enough to get there, do it. Sanitize. Wear a mask. Cover up.
Party when we win.
Wear a rubber.
Do the right things, but enjoy.
Double rub. Absolutely. As I said, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. We do thank these gentlemen very muchly for jumping on. Again, we wish them all the luck, obviously, tomorrow night, and then, obviously, in the big dance on Sunday. If you haven't already, go over and check out the podcast. Jump on the Facebook page and everything else. The Twitter, obviously, you heard it here first. Go and slag the shit out of it. That's what he wants. That's what he'll get, especially from the Jets faithful. So, nothing unusual there for us. I'm also at, I think, 147 subs on YouTube. I don't like to freaking toot my own horn, but I want to get to 150 at least. So 3 subs away, boys. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like what you see. Other than that, we'll be back Thursday with the number one Jets fan and obviously the CEO, Laurie McKinnon, to talk about the season of what we had and what we can expect for next year for the boys. Other than that, enjoy your football. And as always, Benny,
we hate Coast Scum.
We hate Coast Scum. Fuck you, pricks. We'll leave it there. We'll catch you guys later. See you later.
All West, aren't we?
All West, aren't we?
West, aren't we?
All West, aren't we? There it is. You heard it here. Catch you guys.